Hi guys, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a lot to give you today. I did pull a read yesterday, but I had gone to the beach with my daughter yesterday because she's in town visiting. And so I'm going to do a real brief run through of the read that I did do when I got home last night of the read that I pulled yesterday morning. And then I'm going to get into the read today, which has a lot of information. I also pulled 12 cards for the 12 signs. So there's a lot. I'm going to get right into it. Today is the 10th of August. We're going to start with the 9th. As I said, I went to the beach. It was a really nice day with my daughter. I don't know what the masculines are going through, but I was feeling really off. I don't know if they were out partying Thursday night or even yesterday. I was literally walking around down at the beach like I was going to fall over. I would get up and I just felt dizzy and nauseous a little bit. I don't know if they're actually, I don't know what they're doing. They could be just out drinking and partying with friends or whatever, or she could be going through some kind of rehab situation or hospitalization as well, because I was just really out of it the past couple days. I'm still not feeling right today. Yesterday was the 9th, so that was the Hermit energy, and the day was the 2911, which is about waiting for your ships to come in, but also just staying present. I'm not going to go into all the details of yesterday's read. I'm just going to read through it for you real quick so I can get in today's read, since that's passed already. It was really fun driving down to the beach yesterday with all of the plates and synchronicities. Literally was getting the masculines wanting to see if you could keep up with them, and the karmic trying to get in between you, but actually the karmic out of the picture now. And then there was another energy of that one night stand type energy trying to get in there also, but didn't as I was driving down behind certain plates. It was really funny actually. And it was just really fun, hanging out with my daughter, singing with the radio and going to the beach. It was a beautiful, beautiful day. So yesterday's read, the code line was about personal growth. I was getting Ma TV, which was kind of funny because that could reference, the video that I do, but anything having to do with the mother and having any kind of vision, whether it's television or remote vision, but supporting the Hermit for the masculine here, the masculine read yesterday and the masculine read for today. Okay, so the Ma supporting the Hermit telepathically, even the Shah, to see the key in the messenger of truth, or that Knight of Swords energy rushing in with the truth of the feminine, the balanced divine feminine, that no kisses and hugs were given in order for the masculine to go through personal growth period. Okay, so any kind of announcements or TV that support the 9, the collective consciousness to the nth degree, the divine feminine, the aha moments, but also headaches maybe coming up, but just all of this stuff and seeing the keys to being in your truth, the knight in shining armor, your own savior, okay, of the divine feminine support that to the nth degree, and the masculine being strong and not giving away his affections easily, okay, that he needs to grow, he needs to just be by himself in order to grow, right? He can't get sucked into the old relationships again or go forward until he's solid on his own. So the King of Swords was coming in yesterday as the start of the read, and the King of Wands, shaman. So the Shah came up in the coding as well. So very much their shaman coming into their abilities. Also surrendering the King of Swords and the King of Wands, shaman energy, could be 2 people or 1 person. Surrendering, and even beach meditations were coming up in the cards then, with the King of Swords upright energy. Okay, it was kind of, there could have been some reversed energy of the King of Swords yesterday, but definitively it was coming up upright for me. Choosing the left side, or the new, the divine feminine, to grieve possibly shocking news, events, epiphanies, blowing his cover, his crown, his top, his mind. Legacy marriage or divorced, or a wealthy family that's spiritual, the father's legacy of a Taurus reversed, or somebody took a religion down. Taurus or religious leader holding their tongue or abusive in recovery with high priestess, secret, or intuitive abilities, or somebody kicked out of the church, and this could be the King of Swords or King of Wands, but also this marriage with this of the Taurus energy here. Whether that's a religious leader or a karmic around the masculine. Definitely somebody kicked out of a church or synagogue, mosque, etc., whatever religion it is, because of their psychic abilities, or because of the divine feminine, or because of the karmic's behavior, or the karmic doing spell work and were kicked out of a situation. Injured in green, 2 were kicked out of a work or church, or really any place of co-creation, for harsh words, lying, or slander, perhaps. Plantation owner, victim mentality comes up here again. The plantation owner with plenty of cotton, but the slaves with nothing. No one is sharing. Plantation owner sitting on the porch with their Bible, their Torah, their cross, whatever it is, the olive head Viking helmet, Italian, Greek, Middle East beliefs, across the street from those with nothing, starving. Southern Baptist, now reverse prejudice. Black man afraid to be seen with white woman he loves. White waitress in black restaurant has to fight to be treated fairly. Parents and grandparents who never took care of themselves. Functional alcoholics, overeaters, smokers, and etc. Now with medical issues and dependent with deficits on others and immobilized, still alone, not loving themselves because they have no freedom, and yet family or the aides caring for them are loving them. They can't find the gratitude and the love given each day, wanting to die, needing to surrender, incapacitated in order to connect to their higher selves, to allow love and find gratitude. Okay, so it's spirit bringing up the reasons why some of the things happen that you think are unfair, like why do our parents have to be sick and get Alzheimer's and all that kind of stuff. Well, there are lessons in these things that needed to be learned in finding stillness, right? Your connection with your higher self and showing gratitude to those who will love you no matter what. That unconditional love. And this read, by the way, was done at 10:08 to 9 yesterday. And I started reading it last night at 9:09 exactly. So again, the 9:09 gate's coming up now as well, since we're past 8:08. So at 9:45, I turned the page. It was last night when I was actually channeling the read. So someone might have also been kicked out of a church for getting divorced, right? For those religions that you're not allowed to get divorced. And then I'm getting, where is the love, right? Throughout all of this. The King of Swords with a secret. Or is that lying, right? Because he's got a secret. Dumping attachments and activities that don't serve and getting real about love and heaven on earth. Detoxes and walking away and within to rest, quiet time, and 5D meditation. Eclipsing the devil, the dark side of the moon. Coffin on a pedestal. What he has built was support for his funeral, not his life. Worth waiting for came up, as well as flirt beneath that. So after flirting, with danger perhaps, I'm just getting now, worth waiting for the masculine. The Queen of Pentacles out, and the Hermit missing their flame, seeing others play or compete, opportunists or needing help, a bad student, a child needing someone to teach them to manifest for themselves. The Queen of Cups can definitely come up here as reversed energy on top here, who would usually be giving affection, but reversed it can be, over dramatic and manipulative and just purging a lot. So it doesn't have to be a bad person, but it can be. Bad student never learns, and the Queen of Cups getting burned, allowing him or her in. The sword, right, which can be cutting and sharp, and the mirror, the chalice, and heart-shaped infinity. A game of Clue. The poor student fights for their property because they have nothing else to fall back on, right? So someone without an education is scared to get divorced because they have nothing to fall back on, right? They have no education or feel no one will hire them. So then there's 5, and then Roman numerals are coming up 110 rather, which would be a 9. So that's the V1X, which was coming up Vixen, the 59 of the 5 of Swords guy, that war within. And then the Queen of Pentacles, the Hermit, and the Queen of Cups. coming up around the masculine, whether the hermit is him and then the two women around him, the feminine and the karmic, or whatever situation. It could just be two people at work as well, or just two people at home. But it's coming up in the energy that the one you want refuses to compete for you, and the one you don't want won't leave you alone. So happy ending comes up with 93 for the masculine, and beneath that was 81 leadership. Not sleeping, rising above, mother and daughter, Queen of Pentacles, and Page of Cups are out in the open. After over-isolating, the Hermit comes out as the King of Swords upright. So that definitely could have been the Queen of Pentacles was coming up upright for me, coming out into the open, and then the Queen of Cups could be reversed, could be manipulative energy of the masculine. Recovering, going within, now coming out to choose a path, pulling a wishbone apart. One mainstream, the other off the beaten path, where birds are synchronized, and there are mountains to climb, in a divorce situation of a spiritual nature. At the Y in the road, letting go of victim mentality, abandonment, and abundance issues, religion, marriage, commitments, contracts, patriarchy, and the establishment. Both coming out to rise above victimization, happy to be outside the control of others, drawing outside the lines. Divorce or evil religious leader of the King of Swords with psychic abilities. There's a secret or intuitive connection there in the 5D, worth waiting for, the Queen of Cups in a happy ending. Okay, whether she's upright or reversed and purging or being manipulative. So how do you find the happy ending in all this? The King of Swords may have kicked out a Queen of Pentacles and child with mental issues, or keeping him from getting sleep. A recovering addict, perhaps, with enablers. Or Taurus kicked out, but Virgo is coming out. Old man with money and connection to tainted religion or religious leader, a group leader, or Taurus reversed, abusive in recovery, or reading two people, could be kids, the Riot Act, if they want to be accepted back into the family. Okay, so that could be the masculine's children, or it could be the masculine siblings. Okay, the King of Swords without, and it could be the karmic's family as well, but the King of Swords with the 5D connection, worth waiting for. The Queen of Cups, happy endings in divorce or spirituality, or somebody just being too nice, and that's why things aren't wrapped up yet, because you keep being too nice to others who don't deserve it when they should be doing things for themselves. And that was at 1039. 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, 39 is the Knight of Cups. So we turn the page, it's 1040. Recently for the masculine is the Page of Wands, masked boy with a burning desire, or inspired by tribal deity. Released from prison, but stuck in emotions about ending family or emotional fulfillment. The foundation being the King of Cups, new passion, inspired away from rejection, shyness, or a spoiled child, to spirituality and or thinking. And then Blue Eyes was coming up. Centrally, downloads knocking him over, the divine masculine, in disconnect due to stealing, cheating, or running away, to hang out and do nothing, being a fool, falling for being duped, left in the lurch, hanging in limbo, fantasy family, burning the past, through exposure for new passion, the challenge being the Knight of Swords, or the Knight of Orbs, passing the 5D messages, the Dark Knight to the High Priestess, sudden events, explosions, and epiphanies about patience, angels sharing by speaking their truth outwardly, family with money or legacy, and a fantasy life, a new passion for reaping rewards and detoxing, sleeping with the enemy, the 5D angel connection, suddenly ashamed and embarrassed, with competing passions of the poor student who never learns, putting all of this right in his face so he can't avoid it. The Queen of Swords talks about Dark Knight sharing with the High Priestess, secret, angel, through the 5D communication with epiphanies, sudden events, and synchronicities. Now crowning, and this was yesterday again, sharing illness or drained kids, Leo ego, reaping rewards, daydreaming, saving for a rainy day syndrome, never satisfied, always needing more, not enough, and still not worthy. The Knight of Cups, sick of never satisfying the Queen of Cups reversed, a control freak about her spiritual point of view, or refusal of divorce due to religion only. No affection with out-of-control emperor on the warpath, or major abuse of power through withholding affection. The Knight of Cups drained by kids or Leo on the warpath, or stuck, blocked due to control issues of the Queen of Cups, emotional manipulation of the emperor, and him freaking out without sex, being spiteful and vengeful, the War of the Roses, or sharing an offer of love, fantasy family, while the Queen of Cups is crying, purging, reaping rewards, but unhappy without the emperor, or unhappy that he's divorcing, or the emperor is spiritual, or no love loss between an Aries and a Cancer, both who are out of control, or one is spiritual emperor and two older kids, one always crying and the other offering love to everyone, a dreamer with low energy or sickness or illness. Sharing breakup and abuse of power between them. But that Queen of Cups here, it just depends. It can come out one side or the other. You know, it can be someone who's manipulative and always wanting their own way, never satisfied, but it also could be the Divine Feminine going through the purging. So it just depends on your situation. So stuck in emotions of new passion, and the Divine Feminine or karmic detoxing, sudden jealousy and rage of the King of Cups and 5D connection. Meditation in rest with Angel, and this was at 11:11. So War of the Roses between the masculine and the feminine, as the karmic either finds out about what the masculine's been doing or knew all along, but now it comes out, so now they're embarrassed, and now they have to act like they never knew, that kind of thing. But and I wanted to bring up before I forget too, last week my right earlobe was itching for no reason, and this week last week was my left, this week my right earlobe is itching for no reason. And they're not like earrings that are new or anything, they're ones that never give me a problem, and I haven't had issues with my earlobes in years. So kind of interesting that came up. But today it's the right. I turned the page, it was 11:13, the justice system, and then 13 is the death, transition, transformation, the portals. The Hierophant reversed is pumped up with a red robe, birthday cap and antenna, while beard, or white beard, or a Taurus reversed with sudden guilt about lying, stealing, cheating. Now after the fact, because they got caught, okay with it as long as they could get away with it, but now caught can no longer deny their guilt, shame, sex in his face, new passionate growth, foolish behavior, falling for a lie and a split, cutting through the BS, pulling Excalibur from the stone, the harsh truth about sexual behavior, or rehab or hospitalization and arrest, or karmic with sex and jealousy issues, sudden rage about unconditional love in the 5D, fighting to get him to have sex with her. Soon is the Seven of Swords upright, so there's a lot about the lying, cheating, and stealing here. Someone definitely may have gotten scammed, or there could be financial stealing at work, that kind of thing. It was very heavy on that Seven of Swords card, like in all of the decks here. And the near future card was the Seven of Swords upright here. So soon the Seven of Swords upright, passing on downloads and receiving, but not passing. So someone getting them or receiving them, but not passing them along. No love, and there is jealousy, insincerity, at odds with the Queen of Swords speaking their truth. Healing, forgiving, the Knight of Wands. Suddenly or spontaneous healing between the High Priestess and the Knight of Wands. After the Dark Night. The Wounded Warrior reversed in surrender or giving up, overwhelmed, dumped, or purging. Crying a river over insecurities and manipulation about or for unconditional love. The Divine Masculine is coming up as the Wounded Warrior reversed in surrender. Destined third party, gossip, overindulgences, antisocial behavior, feeling weak, out of control, or this could be an out of control Leo and or ego, and death related to this, ego death. Deliberation of poor or bad judgment, no decisions of the King of Wands. Surrendering to third party, Libra and the King of Wands upright, but Leo and Aquarius reversed, along with 3 cups. No more joy in a partnership between Libra, Leo, and Aquarius. You deserve love came up, wedding, and trust for the masculine yesterday. And around the Divine Masculine, or how he's seen, was the shadow reversed, detoxing twins, or possibly kids. Lies, split, BS, insecurities, manipulation of holding on, of the King of Swords reversed, so not in their truth. The love of his twin, and that doesn't have to be the masculine, it can be a lawyer, a cutthroat lawyer, it can be a psychologist or any other professional. But the love of his twin, it can be another person too, like it could be his brother, a friend, family member. The love of his twin brought out the lies about risky behavior, money, and stability issues. The masculine needs to clear blocks of destiny with the Queen of Cups and the Page of Wands, defenseless to the energies and not facing each other, right, face to face. Personal growth comes up and detoxing, dissatisfaction, never being satisfied. All right, and then even more so for the masculine, he needs a green environment and patience with others and himself. And that could be patience as well, the different spelling of patience. Sadness, grief, regret, not passing third baton to finish the race. Lies and fighting, competition, poor student, stubborn, lazy, refusing to move or work for the King of Cups. Never satisfied, so the King of Cups could be that one of those fathers that come up all the time, whether it's the in-law or the actual father, becoming a someone who's never satisfied, the devil, and chaos. Always likes to put other people in chaos. Feeling castrated. Oh, so someone that's sad just coming up today. So someone, so a casting error is corrected. Oh, that might actually come out good. So someone who's an actor may actually, where something fell through before, they may have corrected that and they may get pulled back into whatever it was they lost. But anyway, the masculine feeling castrated by the King of Cups, or the King of Cups with two stubborn, lazy kids always fighting the battle of the boner and getting in trouble and needing time out. So that just has to do with, the masculine, a lot of times a masculine will get a charge just out of the competition of something. So it's not really a sexual innuendo here. So, but the masculine feeling castrated by that King of Cups. So the King of Cups, his father, or him with two stubborn kids, or his father thinks him and his brother or his sister are lazy kids, always fighting the battle of that boner, the competition, right? And getting in trouble, always needing a timeout. So, being raised and always being pegged as the bad kid. So still being pegged that way. Abusive father or uncle or friend of the family or religious leader. There's definitely sexual abuse coming up here. There's maybe someone who's still in the masculine's life who he can't get rid of. Scammed or sexually abused children, 1148. And it could have to do with currently too. This same person could be around the masculine's own children. Are you going to let that happen? 1149 is justice and the 9 of Cups. Get your wish. So success, attention, leading the Queen of Wands reversed. Attention brought to her. So the Queen of Wands reversed, obviously in a negative energy, whether she's really pissed off or just exhausted. Attention's being brought to her, like whatever her issue is. Divine masculine with grief, sadness, and embarrassment as lies are out of control, unhappiness, anger, and manipulation, or grieving a death, a transition portal of deception, no love, being dumped, duped, purging, crying, foolishness, lies, lacking faith, the Knight of Pentacles reversed, not working, and the Hermit, wise with light, holding back money or new life, playing ball, magnetizing coin, or trying to save money, and magnetizing coin can reference to his Kohan, because Coin is another spelling for Kohan. And Kohan is two Hans, and masculine always considers himself Han Solo. So it's him and his divine feminine. But not getting a message at home. The journeyman centered, but the Queen of Wands is now feeling sorry for self and refusing to move or work, hermiting and negative self-talk, spying and stalking at home to prevent the masculine from a new life. The King of Swords or King of Cups, wounded warrior reversed, devil reversed, the Page of Wands inspired to be foolish and not accept downloads or love, and challenged by the 5D messages not received, lying, cheating, stealing, blocking the divine masculine from receiving or giving out downloads or 5D messages. So messages may have been blocked from getting to the masculine, and also he may himself be blocked from giving out anything by people around him. Destined to share grief, or transformation of stubbornness and hermiting. The King of Wands surrenders, rests, quiet beach, with the King of Swords suddenly purging for a new path in secret, excited by a divorce or spirituality, and the King of Cups being foolish or lacking faith in sharing. The challenge being the 5D messages not passed on. The Wounded Warrior reverse, giving up risky business, detoxing and destined to grieve through a death, a transition, or transformation, or going through the portal, the dark night to be still, and the hermit at home alone prior to the new life. And that's at 12:04, which is the hanging man hanging out in limbo, and then the emperor, which comes up again today. So the sidebar from yesterday was expressing feelings with the hermit, exposing depression and verbal abuse of the King of Cups. Now the worst is over, feeling bliss of the swords leaving his back. The Queen of Pentacles reversed, hiding at the workplace, not getting along, stealing money, or being foolish, giving to the enemy or a bad person, or someone refusing to settle in love and now sharing with others. A quest to not work, patiently looking back or going back to recover, or back to injustice of showing his high vibration side, but hiding the wounded warrior who's been giving up and powerless, in need of help, or just giving up kids or giving up on kids who are not aligned with his family, his legacy, or his dream of what a family should be. Protecting his heart to stay balanced, stressing out, losing status and or money, or just being greedy or ungrounded, could be just ungrounded, with the Empress reversed in lack, unable to complete a cycle because it's too much work for them. They can't be bothered. So ungrounded, greedy, in lack, sealed divine feminine in another world, burdened. Expressing conflict or a quest to know, the hermit not working or moving forward due to stress and purging now. Depression, patience of a higher love, and done manifesting or mastering for the feminine perhaps. Holding tongue, looking back at lack consciousness, the King of Cups recovering to get the divine feminine to let him back in. The worst over in an injustice of burdens. The Queen of Pentacles reversed, performing, pretending, not coming together at work, giving up, lacking faith, powerless to the enemy within, in need of help or assistance, starting over in love, not settling for those not aligned with sharing and being that dream family and life of love and abundance. So not settling with those who are not aligned or those who won't share, okay? So I'm going to get right into today. I didn't want to focus too much on yesterday's read. Today is August 10th. The 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, and the day adds up to the 30, or the 33. It's 30/3. It is a 3 number. So the 30 is the 4 of Wands, but it's also the 3 energy of socializing, being lucky, expressing yourself authentically, coming together, and being in joy. With the 4 of Wands, it's definitely a celebratory energy. The Wheel of Fortune, of course, is as well. It's about good fortune if it's upright, but in reverse, it can be slowing things down. But they're very positive energies overall, right? So I woke up this morning at 8:33 by a scam call, and a truck in my driveway blocking me from getting out. So then here's your blocks coming up again from my neighbor, okay? So, and then I got at 11:14 was very interesting. I got a message from a kid doing a I'm your number neighbor thing, which I never heard of before. You know, you just take your phone number and just switch one digit and then call someone to see who they are. So I got this person doing this with me, a kid that I went back and forth with, but then they did respond initially, wanting to talk, but I couldn't talk today, and then I got no reply from them. So again, not having balanced sharing of communications. That's coming up about the masculine. You know, they may give you one reply, but then they never reply again. So again, this is not balanced. So you may be my number neighbor, but if you're not sharing in a balanced way, what good is that? What good is that connection or relationship? And that's not to say anything about the kid who was calling me. I actually am kind of interested to talk to that person, but it's just coming up as a message for the masculines today. So I cut the deck today at 11:37 this morning, the Sirian Starseed deck, and the read was finished at 11:57 to 58, which is the Three of Swords and the Four of Swords, right? So the separation or heartbreak energy, or just rain coming in, and coming into the Four of Swords, which is the quiet time, the rest, the reflection, the meditation and connection in the 5D. I also put 12 signs out right at noon today. So right at high noon, right, the shootout. That's when all of your cards were put down for each of the signs. The major arcana for the Divine Masculine read today is the Lovers, the Star, the Chariot, Indigo, and after the read was Hanging Man, and before the read was Ascension, which is like the World. Indigo is the Magician in this deck, and then the Hanging Man is the Hanged Man, of course. There was 1 Pentacle, 3 Swords, 2 Wands, and 1 Cup for the masculine today. In this read, the 3 Swords was heavy, right? So too much in their head. And the only court card today was the Queen of Swords, which was coming up reversed. And it wasn't coming up as the Divine Feminine, although it could be for some, depending on your situation. The numbers in the code line were all about surrender today, big time. And the message was very cool. The numbers were 99, 55, 7, 8, 9, 10, as well as the number 1 came up, and 13, 21, which is the Death and the World, which are both ending cards, right? Wrapping things up, coming into completion, going through the portal energies. And the Queen of Swords, she's the one in this card in the Sirian Starseed deck where she pulls the lever to switch timelines. But she's reversed because she is not the one who has the power to push the button, you know, like the president's red button. That's what I was just getting just now. And also when I was circling the 9s that came up in the read today, one of them, of course, was the Wounded Warrior, and sirens started going off outside, all right? So someone may be injured, or someone may have gone through that, or just gotten wounded, okay? And being rushed to the hospital, or to rehab, or to just whatever was needed. Something may have happened, or maybe something happened with the house, that kind of thing. And from all the energy from yesterday, there's a lot of liar, cheater, thief, or risky behavior energy. So something happened that could cause the unfolding today. Okay, so the message in the code line for the masculine today about surrender had to do with mass. So it could be just going to a church mass. But I was getting a couple different things, and they all had to do with Sagittarius energy, the Screen Actors Guild, which can just reference a couple different things. It can reference acting, the acting industry, but also people who pretend, and also the unions, which came up in the read today. So there could be a mass Screen Actors Guild, high vibration destiny to the nth degree. So a mass, some kind of mass coming together of the Screen Actors Guild, or just support of actors in general to the nth degree, the Star. To the nth degree, the I, the 9, the collective consciousness, the wise one, the one who knows their worth. The I comes up, the lowercase I with a heart, just was drawn above it by accident. I did a dot, but it ended up looking like a heart-shaped thing. But I-N-E, and N for me is Jesus, and E is the feminine energy of Eve, right? So that was coming up the etheric realms. It also could be northeast, because north for me was coming up as the etheric realms, and east is the divine feminine. So the etheric, or Jesus, and the divine feminine, or east, northeast. I, northeast. And then I was getting, I love New York, right? So that's so much about the acting industry. So SAG came up, as well as Sagittarius energy, but also sagging. So something that's sagging, or not doing well, right? Or getting old. So about stars getting old, that was coming up. Also a massage tent. So someone pitching a massage tent, you know, maybe one of those, sudden stores. What are they called? I'm just blanking out on the name. But anyway, someone might be putting up a tent, a massage tent, or someone for those who are sagging, or someone's tent is sagging and it's going to fall if they don't do something about it. All right, and that could have to do with getting an erection as well, right? Their tent is sagging. So that's kind of funny. And having to do with massage, that's kind of funny. So the Star was coming up for the masculine. the 9, and then I was getting like an echo, like 9, ein, 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 right? So there's an echo about the 9, the wise one, the hermit, the collective consciousness, I, the star, right? So the appearance, right? So we're talking about actors. The appearance of the one who is everything and yet underlying a sagging tent, right? Or anything else that's underlying their persona. But New York is definitely coming up here. Unions, mass union, and then the 10th is coming up here. And today is the 10th. This was coming up as the starting point of the high 9, the collective consciousness, the hermit, the wise one. The 9 of Jesus, the I-N-E, the I, the lowercase I of the chakra system in your third eye, and the northeast of the etheric realms, and the feminine energy, side by side, I-N-E, I-N-E, Jesus and I-N-E, I-N-E, the twins. The surrender of the twins. And then I was getting I love New York again. So anything that you guys get coming up with that coding, let me know below. But definitely unions coming up, and they come up in the read again. The 10th, which is today. The 10th is also the 10 of the destiny number, your destiny coming through. And the start of your destiny, right? The beginning of the end. What is the song? We just heard it on the radio yesterday. It's Adele. I can't think of the name, but I'm sure one of you guys knows. But there's a line in there which is like this is the beginning of the end, or the start of the end. I can't think of it right now. But anyway, so we have so really positive energies for union here, starting today. And I told you the Lion's Gate was going to open and release a stampede of the divine masculine, so be careful you don't get trampled on. Okay. The high 9, very high energy of the twins side by side in the I-N-E, so that could reference to iodine also, with the I-N-Es, the different things with I-N-E in them. So getting into the read for the masculine today, starting out in exile. This can be the masculine, but I really wasn't getting it so much as the masculine today. I got to show you the cards underneath that. So here is that 5 of Pentacles or crystals as the underlying energy today, but it starts with the King of Cups upright, the Page of Swords upright, and then the World upright. Oh, excuse me, the World is reversed. The other 2 are upright though. So positive energies below this exile. The King of Cups, the Page of Swords, and the World in exile, outside the group, at work, church, school, or place of creativity after a battle, a conflict, a competition that's over, feeling insecure, manipulative, or literally without the tools needed to do it yourself for the masculine. The King of Cups, like I said before, it can represent the masculine, unconditional love, or it can represent someone else around the masculine, but it's definitely come up as a father or a father-in-law before. The King of Cups with a message for the world about abandonment, destitution, and loneliness. Father and Son and the Holy Spirit, or in other words, the Holy Spirit is the collective consciousness, the world. Father and Son in the world. Feeling left outside Trinity, not accepted by religions or groups, or God for that matter. The slow roll without proper schooling. A Leo, ego, strength and tempering the beast within. Aiming northeast, but the Leo pushing their luck south. All about money on the brain, floating gold coin, wiffle ball, or any kind of ball, using the lowercase I, the chakra system, the third eye, to hurt others' feelings, make them feel like outsiders, cutting them out, rushing in with harsh words, letting go, spending money to fix things and relationships, or in other words, paying people off to keep quiet, holding their tongue as not to start a fight, a battle, a competition, a conflict, right? Those who don't want to deal with conflict. Trying to hit the ball out of the park, using anger, verbal abuse, control, as opposed to neutralizing the energies. Plantation owner and slave again, that came up yesterday. Controlling through fear of harm. To prevent an uprising of the masses, mass exodus, or overthrown. And that was at 1249. The hangman, right, being hung, and this is the Jesus, Mary Magdalene template coming up again. And the 49 of the Get Your Wish card, right, the 9 of Cups, being happy with just yourself. The masses, the slaves, the unions, They want fair wages, and owners, bosses, kings, and emperors, all about money and power, not wanting to share. Libra energy here with justice, trying to be fair, but bowled over by ego and Leo's big butt where it doesn't belong, undermining their balance, holding back any bonus or raises until they stop fighting. Some kind of illegal or immoral use of funds or loss of funds due to theft or a scam, very much in the read yesterday. Strikes and not crossing the picket lines here as well, which is very interesting because I experienced that right after college. I got a job at Mountain Bell when Mountain Bell was going through, or Bell Telephone was going through divestiture. So they were hiring people during the divestiture, and I came in right during the end of a strike. So that was kind of interesting, crossing the picket line. So not crossing the picket lines here as well, like not betraying the masses, insinuates the strike. That word insinuates a big hit, right? If you were to strike something, it means you want to hit something. It's aggressive. 3 strikes and you're out. Employees who constantly protest or are negative then are fired due to constantly putting negative energy into the business for their own purposes, some on purpose so that they can then sue their employer for being fired. Or in other words, if you use your disability for an injury, then you are considered high risk and then blacklisted as an employee. And then, if you take a payoff like I did with my back disability after rehabbing for 3 years, they harass you until you do take a payoff. And then when you do take a payoff, the contract that you're forced to sign says you can never work at that institution again, even if you were the best employee they ever had. Okay? So not using intuition, a secret passion, or secret is out regarding the Knight of Swords reversed, verbal abuse, or holding back an announcement or holding their tongue about a Queen of Swords reversed, their gossip over indulgences, and they are not joyful, they are very antisocial, or third-party issues of abandonment, destitution, victim mentality in the aftermath of sudden events, avoidance, or a takedown situation, or destruction of a business or property after working so hard, or just continued burden to carry the weight of the world, the employer's responsibility for not only his own self but other people's livelihoods, removing the weakest links for the good of the whole. The post-war trauma, PTSD, after Jesus' death, in protest of the mass, is why he died, right? Holding the emperor responsible. The emperor kills Jesus, the instigator, teaching the masses to think for themselves in opposition to the rulers coming in or their control. So therefore a strike, a war, airstrike, World War II. The cause of the strike in war or business, no matter which one it is always the number one target in a takedown. In aftermath of great loss, feeling so beaten down, it is very hard to start over again, creating a resistance, defeatist attitude, near giving up, refusing to drop. People must be taught how to heal their PTSD by going within as opposed to just pushing through the 3D mess. Allow as opposed to resist. Accept the things and people you cannot change. Allow the natural changes, the reasons you may not be able to foresee at the moment, okay? So it's saying this is where faith comes in. You may not be able to see everything that's at play and why things are happening the way they are until the post-war situations all settle out and unfold, which sometimes can take years. So you may not see the result until years down the road, which is why we must let go of outcomes and just have faith in knowing, from your own inner guidance in being intuitive and connected to your higher self. This is why it's so important. Feeling overwhelmed at the thought of starting over. If you let go of the outcome, the future, then the present gets a whole lot brighter. And then right as I wrote that down, my daughter's friend came over to pick her up, and she's such a positive person. Like, she's always, no matter what her struggles have been, she's always pursued past that, just staying in the present. And now she's going into public health, which was perfect. So it's another person that I can connect with, so that she can go out and connect with others on the whole, So it was 117 at that time. 1 is the magician, 17 is the star. Okay, so it's the one who stays present, who's able to stay present and not look towards the future or the past, that rises to stardom. So then we get back to the post-war issues, how to start over without Jesus. Once he was crucified, how did everyone start over again? There needs to be forgiving and learning after the reconciliation, okay? So things need to be reconciled within yourself and with others and your neighbors and the whole, right, with the government. And then it comes time to forgive and learn, you know? Once you get things organized again, it's time to forgive and learn and teach others how to forgive and learn. The Chariot reversed came up as the bull exits left, while the right bull is stuck without connected information. So when the left bull exited, they stuck the right bull without what they needed to go on with the business or the life, whatever it was, because they refused to teach them before they left. So the red flag hovering above the two bulls, but no one ever bothered to just look up, right? They didn't see the red flag that would have triggered them to be inspired, because they kept looking down, they weren't looking up, they weren't seeing their present moment. The harsh truth is out, that the bull was on a warpath, holding back or blocking the truth, messages and announcements, rehab, surgery, arrests from getting out, the wounded warrior not giving up their own independence, refusing to, sovereignty, or their sovereign, who is they feel belongs to them, their property, their princess or their queen, or an obsession or obsessed with hair, cutting, or being a stylist, being the wounded, the victim, holding tongue as to not bite the hand that feeds them, parents, bosses, and partners who are bossy, the wounded warrior getting attention from females to make it all better, right, making the boo-boo all better, fix things for him instead of doing the work for himself. So all of the enablers around the masculine, instead of empowering himself, feeling sorry for self, overwhelmed, unable to rise above others, more powerful or bossy, or more controlling with agendas. The masculine just wanted to keep the peace, but losing their authenticity themselves in the process. Girls sitting on his lap so he doesn't see the logs, distracting him on purpose while stealing from right under his nose. Just need to flirt and you're in, they may say about him behind his back. So easy to manipulate them because the twins see the best in others, because they think others have the same heart as them. So after being deceived so many times, when the twin came along, they didn't believe in them. There are women on all fours begging for his attention, so he'll fix them, do all their work. Jesus, our Savior. It is ego, as opposed to teaching them to do it for themselves. They are not doing their work, and he may not learn until his harem start to kill themselves in his name, like Jesus. A mass exodus, or in other words, a cult mass death. Jesus wants to walk amongst them, be one of them, but they put him up on a pedestal so they could be free from responsibility. The famous with groupies, having sex with all the young girls, and Spirit's connecting with me through all this, all the young girls not hearing about all the suicides until their own child dies. So again, so the famous person with all their groupies, right? They think they have it made, they can have sex with whoever they want. Having sex with all these young girls, a lot of them underage, not hearing about all of these young girls killing themselves because of them until they grow up and have their own children and their child dies because of the life they've led. This is ego. It is not love, it is service to self. Giving yourself sexual energy and giving your own sexual energy away to all of these, God knows how many people, for these famous rock stars, keeping them coming back for more, right? So once you give some of your energy away to them, they just want more and more and more. They're never going to be satisfied because you're, as a twin, you're very high energy, right? They want more. So now they're addicted to you, and you addicted to drugs and death to try to get away from all this, right? Because they just want a piece of you. So inundated with their wounds, you now have taken them all on. Anyone you've had sex with, you take on all their wounds too. The weight of the world inside you, eating you up. And then there must be change, right? At this point, you can't do it slowly. There just has to be mass exodus, a change, the 5, the Hierophant. God must come in. 27 was beneath that, is spiritual partnership. So once the masculine realizes or awakens to his own spiritual partnership within himself, then there must be massive change. Never satisfied, never feeling wish fulfillment, or oversatiated, as opposed to cation, the cation ion. The charged, balanced magnetism that he once had is no longer, because now it's way oversatiated, and it's kind of grotesque in a way. Okay, so before I go further, I'm going to tell you the players here and the signs, which direction they were. So Sagittarius was upright, Virgo upright and reversed, Gemini upright and reversed, which that means either two separate people or expressing both negative and positive attributes. Libra was upright and reversed. Leo was all upright today. Scorpio upright and reversed. Aries upright and reversed. Aquarius upright and reversed. Pisces upright and reversed. Taurus just upright. Capricorn just upright. And Cancer upright and reversed. So there's no one who is just negative today. There's a lot of very strong positive energy here. Of the aces, the only ones that were upright were the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Swords. So the truth and the passion energy is definitely, or creativity, inspired energy is there for the taking today. Of the kings, the King of Cups and the King of Pentacles were upright. Of the queens, the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups were upright. But the Queen of Wands upright in the read was reversed in the underlying energy. So it could be two separate Queen of Wands, or it can be one person showing her negative self in the underlying energy, but then again coming out to, just pretending that she's right and everybody else is wrong, that kind of energy. So the knights, the only knight that was upright today was the Knight of Pentacles, the loyal servant. And of the pages, the Page of Cups and the Page of Swords were upright. Of the 10 cards, the 10 of Wands was upright and the 10 of Pentacles was upright. So the big family was upright, but the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Swords reversed is really good because that means the worst over. 10 of Cups reversed means the family cycle is over, the emotional family cycle. And the 10 of Wands, though, still carrying the burdens. The 9s were all upright here, all right? So the endings are still ongoing. But it's good for the 9 of Pentacles, the 9 of Cups, get your wish, the 9 of Swords, which is the suffering, and then the 9 of, Wands. Knight of Wands is the wounded warrior. Okay, so 2 are suffering and the other 2 they're like the extremes, the Sovereign and the Get Your Wish card is one extreme, and then the wounded warrior and the suffering is the other extreme, but they're all upright today, those 9s. And then of the 5s, the 5 of Swords was upright, so that the war is on, right, the inner war, and the 5 of Pentacles also, right, so that's the abandonment issues. So dealing with that, right, the war of the abandonment issues, the being left out, the victim mentality, all right, that was on today. All right, so as we go on, it was 157 as I turned the page, is the Magician and the 57 of the 3 of Swords, which is upright today. Separation, heartbreak, could be surgery as well, but walking away and within is the only way out. All right, so once I get past, the fame of Jesus, the rock star, the divine masculine, and you've taken on all of these people's wounds, whether you had sex with them or allowed them to be in your space continuously, allowing them to get their way. The only way out for the masculine is massive exodus, right? Going within is the only way out. The Queen of Wands reversed, fire-breathing Sagittarius or actress, right? That one who pretends. It doesn't have to be an actress as a profession. She could just be that way. All extremes, but never in the middle, right? A drama queen. You thought they were exciting when you started, but then you felt dragged down by them. Home, celebration of patient Jupiter and going within. So this could be someone who's got a great chart because they always get their way, but they never learned how to temper anything about their life. And the masculine now learning to go within and walks in nature. Balancing home, marriage, social life, and work, understanding that the balance that is needed here. The Queen of Wands reversed, however, Sagittarius, off the hook, never happy. And it doesn't have to be a Sagittarius person, it's representing that energy today. And that can have to do with the acting and the unions, actually, that, bring people together to protest. But the Queen of Wands reversed, off the hook, never happy, needs to go within or walk away to find something that does work, make them happy. besides a never-ending stream of parties, kids, ladies who lunch, and spa days, while the Divine Masculine works into the night to stay away from all that with Ben, right, his little mouse friend. Spiders and webs above him or woven into the music system. So there could be a bug hidden in the speakers at work, so somebody can always know what the masculine's up to. For the overhead music that comes in, that's streamed in the office. So someone that's for sure, obviously that's not for everyone, but someone may have bugged where the masculine works, so they always know what's going on, whether it's a father, father-in-law, or the karmic. The big family could be another karmic as well. I'm losing my voice with the big family, all right? So that might be who's bugging the office. The big family celebration this week, but the Divine Masculine is keeping to himself. Could even be wedding preparations he wants nothing to do with, or working to death to try to pay for it all, to keep up with the Joneses, or keep up his Jesus reputation, or the image of his reputation to his children or his two bunnies. A party for every occasion. Studying the gold coin alone at work, abandoned in exile, or a partner kicked him out so he wouldn't be in the way for the party. So no battles would ensue. So whether they're together or no longer together, just trying to keep the peace for whoever's party it's for, whether it's for them or for the kids or whatever. Just hard labor comes up for the masculine, obsessed with his own independence, or daughters or partners coming out party, right? That has to be the end-all be-all, right? So they get stuck with footing the bill. Someone begging and pleading, honey, daddy, 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 please. She'll just die if he doesn't pay for this too. Plastic surgery, IV drip, Hatari, safari, major expensive graduation gifts, it never ends. Anything for his little princess or princesses. And this notices girls, not boys, because boys are treated differently. The Divine Masculine in exile to avoid fighting, burden, heavy labor, obsession of money and luxuries. Not for my child, only the best. Most expensive schools, trips around the world, all the right connections. But where is the love, where is the love? Okay, so that's a very clear message there. So then change comes up for the masculine. There must be mass change. Recently, for the masculine, and before I go into that, I'm going to show you the cards. I'll show you a picture of the 12 signs too, if it gets too long here. So we have the 5 of crystals there is the underlying energy. Recent past is the 8 of swords, which was upright. The foundation is that Queen of Swords with the handle on it. She's reversed energy. The center of the reed is the Lovers, which was upright energy today. The challenge being the Star, which was reversed, which can be very much depression. The other underlying energies and the Wounded Warrior there at the top, who's upright today. Bridging over here to the near future, which is the Chariot, which you can barely see the Chariot peeking through here. No horses around because they've been let out of the gate. Okay, so the masculine sees himself as the Indigo Child, which the Magician's reversed today. And those Romance Angel cards, and around him is the 10 of Wands, which is also upright, so still carrying the burden. Then we have the blocks that he needs to clear, which is the 9 of Cups, which is upright energy today. And then coming up to the numerology cards and the Ace of Swords. The Truth is that final card with the 5 of Wands above it, which is reversed, ending the battle. Then you have the 7 of Cups upright, and then the Hangman, which is also upright or in that hanging position today. And then finishing up on the Temperance card there, the Angel, okay? There are some side note cards here, which I'll show you here. All right, this is a little sidebar note that I got for you. And then this is the 12 card read. So the top cards are the underlying energies, starting with the High Priestess reversed. And then the Ace of Pentacles there starts with Aries going across until you get down to Pisces, which is that Page of Swords, okay? So fire signs is the first column, earth is the second column, air is the third, and the fourth column is water. Okay, so we'll get to that in a second, but first I'm going to finish the read. Okay, let's see here. Okay. So recently, the prisoner breaks patterns or trips up, drops the facade, to not give up their life and go forward, to work, offer help, and get past their own restrictions. The foundation for the masculine is the Queen of Swords reversed. A negative past in marriage or with Taurus, brothers of the church or of the Taurus, a negative past, negative kids, or that the past returns to him. At home, stuck with Taurus or marriage, or religious leader or cult, or Taurus on the warpath, verbally abusive, or silent treatment, threatening to pull the switch, the lever, the escape hatch, the escape clause, right? If he doesn't do what they tell them to. And this was at 221. 2 is the High Priestess and 21 is the World. That also can be the Sealed Divine Feminine. Centrally for the masculine, the Lovers. It's upright energy, which can just represent affection. It doesn't have to mean sex, but it can. All right, so 222 as we turn the page, 222. 2 of the High Priestess and 22 of the Fool, but the Fool was reversed today. I believe the Fool was reversed. Pretty sure about that. If it proves me wrong, I will let you know. All right. So present to the King of Wands reversed. So King of Wands reversed can be someone who's pissed off, or it could just be they're off today. It can be that they are tired or sick and tired, right? Any of those energies. He could be a really bad person, right? He could be someone who abuses people physically. But the Lovers are present to this King of Wands energy. Reversed in a scam, theft, a cheat, or a liar, coming clean about their burdens, hard labor, and still could be telling half-truths as he supposedly coming out, right, with the truth. So stressed, suffering with the devil's wave. Lovers scammed or robbed by the King of Wands reversed, or that he's just tired of it and comes clean about the stress of the devil or the Capricorn suffering at the hand of the Lovers who are scamming them, causing more pain. The worst over in a betrayal and ending a death of the gold coin that was held back before, so somebody could have been holding back a new life or just money or a loan, held hostage by order of dark High Priestess without intuition, who has a cat and ankle bracelets and 2 skeleton keys that are to death, not to paradise. The challenge being the depression of stardom, being over the loss, over the grieving, the loss, the sadness and regret of the Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles reversed. That can be a greedy Queen of Wands, which I was definitely getting it as one person, although it could be 2. It could be a Queen of Wands upright and the Queen of Pentacles reversed, but we just had Taurus coming up, and so that could be one person as well, okay? So while the challenge being depression of stardom, okay, over the grieving and loss and sadness and regret of the Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles reversed, or a greedy Queen of Wands, while meditation with twin in the 5D, but falling short there, or no longer allowed to use the Divine Feminine for a quickie or a one-night stand, per karmic orders that he had been told to do whatever he was doing, energy stealing on purpose, per the karmic. Karmic may have been bribing the Divine Masculine to give him her sexual energy, or else she'll destroy him and his reputation, squeezing all the juice possible out of the Divine Feminine to give to his family legacy, pushing the Divine Feminine down, causing her to purge, dumping her negative past or kids now coming back to haunt him. Ebenezer Scrooge. And you notice it's Ebenezer. Ebony is black or dark. And bony, ebony, right? Dark and bony. Now crowning the wounded warrior, who could be dark and bony, right, because of the wounded warrior, not giving up after the war. The PTSD holding back the new life. The Hermit and the King of Cups with a bodyguard now to outside forces trying to take them down. So it's like source saying that the masculine and feminine have natural protection. Conserving the third energy between them until message or news of coming out with detective work. The Hermit sexually and creatively blocked to create his happiness on his own now that the worst is over. Holding back passion, standing up for themselves, fending off others, not allowing others to manipulate him. The secret's out about a secret passion. No surprise, no more pretending, staying under the radar during a death, transition, or complete transformation. Grounding and integrating shortcomings at home, in union, or moving forward slowly to offer help to divine lover by the full moon. Discussions, grounding and integrating with the gate open. Wild horses are gone now, since the gates opened on the 8th. Where to go from here with the Queen of Wands, while prisoner, Flame, left hanging in limbo, and the Queen of Wands trying to sex it up or get boo-boos to get his attention, to touch her. Soon as the chariot turned over, dogs and horses are gone, no one to lead or drive, not working or overworking, and finding peace in what's not working, so he can find happiness on his own going forward. And this is at 246. 2 is the High Priestess, and 46 is the Children of the Garden, the Six of Cups. So that can relate to the twins or the kids. So it could be, whoever it is and after the war, trying to get back up on their feet again, whether it's the masculine, the karmic, and or the kids, if they're older kids, right? So he could be taking his kids back and forth, finding happiness in both with them and without. So now realizing it can be a blessing, right? Because he has time to himself to make himself a better person and just to rest. The Emperor without kids or twin feels dumped or duped, or he feels dumped or may have dumped his twin, overwhelmed and or purging and crying over him, feeling taken advantage of, the Divine Feminine, and again, the Divine Masculine choosing family and money over his one true love. Okay, so this is a past life wounding for a lot of the Divine Feminines. Not working so hard in order to find peace in the past returning, like the ghost of Christmas past, his own childhood, past lives, his own kids' issues due to controlling parents, as well-intentioned as it may have been, not using their intuition with the devil, codependencies, addictions, the ball and chain, the one you never got over, or your own demons, or just Capricorn marked man. Secret passion is out, and Capricorn happy on his own, disconnected from both karmic and Divine Feminine and the world in order to complete his own cycle. The Divine Masculine is the indigo child. He sees himself as the insecure and manipulative, right, because it's reversed energy today, with no options but to stand up for himself and fend off others, standing strong in his truth, okay? So passion comes up as well as unrequited love and soulmate, that yes, this is your soulmate. Around the Divine Masculine, or how he is seen, is a large heavy burden of depression, lacking faith, and falling from grace. Now with a message of love to get past an obsession, the Masculine needs to clear blocks of getting their wish. Allow yourself to be happy, sharing neediness, or with poor students in need of assistance, a hand up to help themselves. So Masculines may be finding different causes that make them feel good, ones they can relate to because they identify with them. Being present to disconnect from others who are leaning on you or draining you out in the world. The sealed Divine Feminine not letting anyone in without positive intent. Surrender comes up, and then even more so for the Masculine here is synchronicities and individuality, being their true selves and following their guidance. That was at 259, the High Priestess and the Five of Swords, the war within. Struggling for what to say. And right when I wrote that, I felt like I got a bug bite to my left elbow, which I don't think I did, but it felt like that. But struggling for what to say, the Masculine, to reconnect with the Divine Feminine, the truth of the Empress being happiest with the King of Pentacles, the Empress exposing the King of Pentacles, or the Empress with kids in King of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, now prisoner, wounded warrior victim, finding peace in abandonment wounds, in exile, left out, alone, destitute, detached, sovereign at full moon, grounding and integrating, jealousy, insincerity, no love in a divorce situation or settlement in court of Libra or Capricorn, the Queen of Wands hanging in limbo after a divorce, no longer independent after the battle, the Divine Masculine on his last 1.5 steps to heaven, along with his synchronicities and guides, heaven in their eyes, hanging out, being wise for inspiration to come. Or the Sovereign may be jealous, so that the Sovereign can be anyone. It can be the karmic, it can be the Divine Feminine, it can be a child, it can be a friend or a coworker. But there's a Sovereign also, this could be a different situation, of the Sovereign jealous in a divorce or settlement, or Libra hanging out with the Queen of Wands while grounding and integrating the truth. So there may be jealousy feelings while the Divine Masculine is split up from the karmic, but still hanging out to help her get on her feet. Or the Queen of Wands has been hung out to dry. The truth of disconnect, unable to be friends, a message of love, or a child is not his. A message of truth, of new passion from Leo and or ego, or clash of the Titans coming up here. Again, that's like War of the Roses. The family is over. Dark Knight is expressing feelings in a heated exchange, and that was at 313 of the Empress and the Death card, the portal, the transition, the transformation. The Queen of Cups walking away and within being a patient angel, okay? So we turn the page, it's still 313. A higher love. The Divine Masculine rises into his angel, his own angel, by walking away and within. An exile of the King of Cups, the Page of Swords in an upside-down world, and the Queen of Cups could also represent his mother. So the Queen of Swords reversed, insecure and struggling in a prison of her own now, or of her own making, or it could be literal prison, or a lover's goodbye, challenged by depression because she never got to be the star, broken and blocked to find happiness alone, and not give up on finding the truth after the war, following her own guidance, and viewing other perspectives instead of just assuming she's always going to get things her way. In exile, a prison of work, or being a student again. The Queen of Swords reversed, Taurus, on warpath with Leo, Gemini, so this could be within our chart also, Leo, Gemini, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, or Aquarius. But also could be a Taurus on the warpath with Leo, Gemini, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, or Aquarius. Lover's rage of the wounded warrior challenged by depression because of no fame. Insecure indigo, or without the tools. No car, or also on the warpath. Blocked, struggling with burdens of carrying their own weight to find happiness alone and on their own. Could be a karmic and a child both facing the truth and exposed. How to get up after the war. So this is not just one person dealing with this situation, but everyone. How does everyone get up from it? The masculine, the karmic, the children, and the divine feminine. And then the sidebar was about letting go to repair or fix things. Knowing, or just know, ground and integrate the heartbreak, the separation of rest, quiet, meditation in the 5D, learning or hearing the call to action, also the judgments, any final decisions or judgments that have come in, and announcements of the lover or the divine feminines in their truth. The Queen of Swords reversed with synchronicities thought to be dark. So the karmic could have literally thought that synchronicities were of dark energy as opposed to the light, or that could have, that could be real for them if they're very religious, or it could have been them just pretending that, right? Because they wanted the masculine to believe that it was the devil. Frustrated boy implementing a plan for a new life, or playing ball, or magnetizing their coin, or their co-Han, their co-Han Solo, under the radar in need of attention by the full moon. Letting go to repair his untruth, his self-doubt, knowing of synchronicities now, and grounding and integrating frustrations, love rain, or in other words, emotions, the love rain, used to implement or plan 5D new life with announcements, feeling like a failure or feeling needy at the moment, especially with lover at night, in need of affection. Full moon lovers comes up, as well as that passionate aggression. So just, you can take that either way. It just depends on your situation. So that's the read. It was a lot. I just need to take a sip, and I'm going to clarify the 12 signs for you in a quick way. All right, let me just pick up the mini deck cards for just 1 second, and then I'll be with you on that. Okay. Okay. So now we have all of them. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a view of the cards over there. Okay. So as I said, the top column is the underlying energy, starting with the High Priestess reversed. And it goes fire vertically. The columns are fire, earth, air, water. And then these are just 4 after cards for everybody. So starting at the top with the overall energies, we have the High Priestess reversed. And that can very much be about not using your intuition, but also can just be about secrets coming out for me anyway. And also it has to do with passion in the traditional definition. A secret passion, perhaps. And then we have the Hierophant reverse, which is about divorces and breaks from contracts and commitments and thinking outside the box, spirituality. So there definitely could be secrets out in regards to that, and the changing of the guards, which I was definitely getting that this week as well. And being in your sovereignty, as the 9 of Pentacles comes up as the next card, and the Emperor. So the Sovereign and the Emperor, which can be it can be the masculine and the karmic, the masculine and the feminine, but it also can be father and daughter energies there, or grandfather and daughter as well.